Today I'm making some roti. Roti are like, they are Indian chapatis. The only difference that we have with the roti compared to our Kenyan chapatis is only that the roti you have to use some baking powder or any rising agent. But we know for Kenyan chapati we do not use any rising agent. So that's the only difference for in terms of the roti and the chapati. So I just want to prepare some roti. This one is very simple, my people, and the ingredients are very few as well. So with me here I have my flour. I've already measured my flour and put it in the basin that I'm going to need. So I have my baking powder. This is my baking powder. Yeah, I'm just using the Chapa Mandashi baking powder, but I've just measured it here so that I move a bit fast. So we have the baking powder, and then we have the flour, and then the next ingredients we have is the salt, and then we have some water. I have my water in my electric kettle, so I'll be using some water, warm water. Yeah, for this you require some warm water, and then I'll be using some margarine. You can use some butter, but for me the butter I have can't be enough for the whole of these rotis, so I'm just going to use some margarine. And then while frying the rotis, I'll just use some cooking oil. You'll see this. Yeah, so stick around and watch the whole process. Welcome. The first step, obviously, is to mix the baking powder with the flour, and then just mix that up. And before I continue mixing, this is the point that I'll add in our salt. Yes, our salt like that. So I'll mix this. Yeah, and then at this point I'll just pour in my warm water. I'll pour in my warm water, and I'll start kneading. I'll knead until I form a dough. You're saying this one has not much of a difference from our Kenyan chapatis. Yeah, so I'm just going to knead this for around 5 minutes. So I'll be adding a bit of water, and then we continue with the kneading.
I don't have some trick on my sleeve I can show you, but I can guarantee you look at me and see that I'm the type of girl you're not really that used to. I'm only gonna give it to you honestly. I know this ride's taking some time, but I know I'll be okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away. I could let this hold me, swallow and control me. It would be so easy just to break, but I'd rather do it the hard way. 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 I've been taking every cup of coffee black now, sugar coating everything, don't make it sweet. And all the time I've given up, I'm taking back now. I've been spending all my hours differently.
I added some vegetable cooking oil, and then I'll knead this for around 3 minutes, and then we'll go to the next step.
I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away.
Add the dough with some cling film, and then allowed it to rest for around 30 minutes.
Just to break, but I'd rather do it the hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way.
My 30 minutes are over, and my dough has rested well. At this point it's very soft, and I just want to divide it into equal parts. So I'll divide the dough into half, another half, another half. Yeah, so I'll just cut it into half, and then the half I'll divide it into another half, and then that quarter I'll divide it into another half, and then here I'm just looking forward to make some, to get some balls, so I'll just divide it roughly, and then nitaitoshanisha na mikono when I'm rolling the dough.
Hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way.
This is what we have, and just for my dough not to become hard, I'm just going to cover them with the cling film that I had covered the dough with. So I'll just cover like that, and then on this other side as well, I'll just cover like that, and then I'll now start to work with this one. So let's now start rolling out the dough. Yeah, so here we'll just roll the dough and we are not looking for perfect shape at this point. So we just roll the dough. We want to apply some margarine. The margarine will help to keep the rotis moist and soft. So that is the purpose of the margarine at this point. So I'm just rolling it out, and then I just spread the margarine, and then after this I'll add in some flour on top so that the layers zishikane, and then I'll now cut it from the center, and I'll just roll it around to form some, at this point I just want to form some good layers. So I'll just roll it around like that, and then when I reach the end I'll just tuck it in, press from the upside, and my first dough is ready.
Don't run away. I could let this hold me, swallow and control me.
Yeah, so I'll repeat the same process. I'll just spread the dough the way I'm doing, and then I'll apply some margarine. I say at this point you can use some butter, and then I'll just apply some flour, cut it at the middle, just roll the way I'm doing. Then when you reach the end, you tuck it from the bottom, then you press it from the upside, and that way you have your ball ready. So I'll do this process until all the balls are formed, and then we'll now head to cooking the chapatis, the rotis.
Feeling kinda hopeless. I've never been the one to run away. I could let this hold me, swallow and control me. It would be so easy just to break, but I'd rather do it the hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way.
Yeah, so here I'm forming my rotis, but I'll just spread a few, and then I'll head to the frying part. The frying part is also easy as well, because we just do it the way we do the normal chapatis. Yeah, so I'm just spreading. I'm just getting a few of them ready so that I just grab and fry it. Yeah, so this is the next process.
I don't have some trick on my sleeve I can show you, but I can guarantee you look at me and see that I'm the type of girl you're not really that used to. I'm only gonna give it to you honestly. I know this ride's taking some time, but I know I'll be okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away. I could let this hold me, swallow and control me. It would be so easy just to.
So once you place your roti on the pan, you'll allow it to cook before adding in the oil, just a little bit on both sides, and then thereafter you'll add in some oil, and you'll notice they are really airy. That means that moto inaingia vizuri ndani, and that is what we are looking for. So we'll continue cooking all the rotis until we are done. I say this process is just the way we do our normal chapatis, nothing complicated. Yeah, so if you know how to cook chapatis, you can cook rotis.
To live what you say, and I know I'll be okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away. I could let this hold me, swallow and control me. It would be so easy just to break, but I'd rather do it the hard way. 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 I know this ride's taking some time, but I know I'll be okay. 'Cause it's never too late to live what you say. Yeah, I know I'll be okay.
Yeah, so my people, I'm done making the rotis, and here they are. They turned out so well. I love these rotis because they are easy to make compared to chapatis. You know, chapatis, they have, you have to ensure the shape is round and everything, but these ones do not even mind the shape because the shape doesn't matter here. But they are done on the inside, and I'm loving them so much. You see how we are saying that these rotis, they have layers. Yeah, so when you cut through, the layers are so defined, you can see them. Yeah, so this is how they turned out. Let me just bring you up close on what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this is the one of the rotis that I've just katakatad, and then so this is how it's looking. Yeah, so see, this is it for the rotis. Now I'm preparing the stew, and I figured I'll just do beef stew, so it's on the other side boiling. Yeah, let me show you. Yeah guys, so for the beef, it's here boiling. So I just added some salt to the beef. I added some garlic and ginger, and then I now put it on fire to boil. It has been boiling for the last 30 minutes. It's soft enough now and ready for the next step. So let me show you the ingredients that you are going to require for the beef. For the beef for my food, I try to keep it simple, and I try to use most of the natural ingredients that you can just find. So with me here, I have a lot of onions. I love it when my beef has a lot of onions. So I have some onions. I've just soaked them in water just to remove the, what is it called? There's something that is called, that makes you cry. I can't remember the name. So I've just soaked it so that that one is eliminated, and I won't cry when I'm chopping it up. I have some garlic. Yeah, I know I boiled the beef using the garlic, but I'll still use it here again because there's nothing like too much garlic. Yeah, so I have my green capsicum, and then I have my carrots. Yeah, I come from Kikuyu land, and you know we have to have carrots, we have to have potatoes in our stew. So I'm representing my mountain people. Yeah, so we have some carrots here, and then I have some butternut. I love it. Even I love adding some butternut to any of my stew. I feel butternut has a unique taste, and I love it when it is in my stews. Yeah, even the cereals, I love adding some butternut. So I have some butternut, but it's just a small piece because my beef isn't that much. So I've got some butternut, and then I've got some potatoes. Yeah, and then I've got some tomatoes. Yeah, I'll be using a lot of tomatoes because I want that deep color. And then lastly, I have some coriander or the dania. So the first thing to do, of course, is to prepare this up. We chop them up, and then we proceed to the next level. But for these ones, I'll be blending some of the things here because I want my soup to be thick. Yeah, so let me start chopping up my peeling my ingredients and washing them, and then we shall blend the ones which are for blending. Let's get into it.
I don't have some trick on my sleeve I can show you, but I can guarantee you look at me and see that I'm the type of girl you're not really that used to. I'm only gonna give it to you honestly. I know this ride's taking some time, but I know I'll be okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away. I could let this hold me, swallow and control me. It would be so easy just to break, but I'd rather do it the hard way. 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 I've been taking every cup of coffee black now, sugar coat.
So I'll be blending the tomatoes, the green capsicum, and the dania stalks, and then the others I'll just chop them.
Hours differently, 'cause it's never too late to live what you say, and I know I'll be okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away. I could let this hold me, swallow and control me. It would be so easy.
So I'll go ahead and add in my oil. I'll not use too much because remember meat has some oil, so I'll just use kidogo. Just because I'm adding other vegetables. If I was just doing meat alone, I would not have added in the oil. Yeah, so at this point, I'll now add in the onions. I'll let them fry until the flavors are infused, and then I'll add in the garlic. So my ginger will go in at this point. So I'll add in the ginger. Yeah, so at this point also I'll add in the blended tomatoes. I'll add them in. Yeah, so at this point I'll just add in some paprika. I want my stew to have that deep color, and the tomatoes were not so red, so I'll add in some paprika. And then I'll just use some tandoori spice. So for today I'll just use the tandoori spice and the paprika. Yeah, those are the only spices that I'm going to use. If you don't have some tandoori, you can represent tandoori with some curry powder. They work almost the same. So that is in. I'll cover this. I do not need to add salt at this point because I had boiled my beef with some salt. So I will not add some salt at this point until much later when everything is in. And then that's when I know if I need to add some salt. So just a few minutes later, we now add in our carrots. So my potatoes will go in, and my butternut. And you realize that I did not peel my butternut. I love it when it is not peeled. It has its own taste. And then remember, the butternut skin is very nutritious. Yeah, so I would maybe advise you try and not peel it anytime you are making your anything with butternut. Yeah, I know most of us peel the butternut, but I would recommend that you just keep it. You just cook it with the skin. I'll just add in some broth. Yeah, so this is my chicken broth. Not chicken broth, beef broth. So I'll just get some from there, and then I'll put it in my beef. You can use some water at this point, but remember the water will make your, it will change a bit, the taste will change a bit, but it is fine. Yeah, so I don't want my soup to be so runny, and I guess this is enough for this. Let me just add a little. Yeah, so here we have our soup. Yeah, so I'll just give this a mix, and then I'll just cover it for a few more minutes because the waru zimebakisha kidogo. So I'll just cover it for maybe 7 more minutes, and then we'll be done and we'll serve our food. My stew is ready, and I'm just going to garnish it using the dania leaves. So I don't want the potatoes to overcook and they start mashing up. So I want the potatoes to still be together or be intact. So yeah, at this point we are okay and we are well done. So I just want now to add in the leaves, and that will be it. This is the stew on and up close. Yeah, so this is how it's looking. I love it. I'm proud of myself. But before I serve the stew, I just want to serve the roti first, and I'll serve it with some greens. I want to serve my husband first because for me, I will wash the dishes first because I can't stand these dishes. There are so many in the sink. I feel that I can't eat in peace where these dishes are all over. So I'll just serve him, and then I'll go ahead and I'll serve him, and then I'll just go ahead and wash the dishes, and then I'll have my meal later. So at this point, the children will also be feeding with my hubby. Yeah. Yeah, so this is our meal. It's looking so yum. Yeah, so I just serve him. He'll be eating as he feeds the children. And for me, I'll first clear up the dishes and wash the cooker. And I'll do that with you. Yeah, so let me serve him and then we come and clean. Yeah, so this is it.
I don't have some trick on my sleeve I can show you, but I can guarantee you look at me and see that I'm the type of girl you're not really that used to. I don't have some trick on my sleeve I can show you, but I can guarantee you look at me and see that I'm the type of girl you're not really that used to. I'm only gonna give it to you honestly. I know this ride's taking some time, but I know I'll be okay.
Yeah guys, so for me, I love clearing the dishes first before I sit down and eat, because most of the time when I sit down, because of being tired, I end up just sleeping on the seat, and then the dishes would just lie here. So I prefer clearing the sink first before I go and sit down and eat. And by the time I'm done washing here, my hubby and the children will have also finished their meal. So that means everything will be clean. It will only be my plate that I'll eat with. So that one I don't mind. I can just leave it on the sink. But tell me, do you prefer washing dishes after eating or before eating? Do you do your chores in the evening? Ama you are also the person who wakes up to a dirty kitchen and you start cleaning from there? So leave a comment and just let me know.
Live what you say, and I know I'll be okay. It's never too late to live what you say. Yeah, I know I'll be okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away. I could let this hold me, swallow and control me. It would be so easy just to break, but I'd rather do it the hard way. some trick up my sleeve I can show you, but I can guarantee you look at me and see that I'm the type of girl you're not really that used to. I'm only gonna give it to you honestly. I know this ride's taking some time, but I know I'll be okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to.
And now that the kitchen is clean, I'll just go and serve my food. And at this point it was a bit cold, so I had to warm it up with a microwave. But I don't mind because I'm just going to sit here, enjoy my own time, enjoy my food alone. Yeah, and this is one of the things that I enjoy doing, especially when in the evening and I am alone. Yeah, so the children will be asleep and my hubby, maybe he'll just be doing something else, so I'll just sit and have a nice meal. This meal was so delicious, so delicious. The rotis are well cooked, they are super soft, they are so yummy. The meat is tender, just the way I love it. Yeah, so I'll just enjoy my meal here, and then I'll just catch up with a few of my favorite YouTubers. Yeah.
But I'd rather do it the hard way. 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 I know this ride's taking some time, but I know I'll be okay.
Yeah, so thank you so much to those of us who have stuck to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming over to my channel to watch this video. Yeah, I hope you got to learn something. I hope you now know how to make your rotis. Yeah, so this is it for today's video. So I just want to thank those of us who are new here. Kindly consider subscribing if you are new. To those of us who always come back to watch my videos, thank you so much. And please share the video. You can also like, you can leave a comment, and let's engage and let me know if you've ever prepared some rotis. How was it? Did you love it? And if you haven't, would you try my method and try to do some rotis? Yeah, so this is it. Please leave a comment and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.
I don't have some trick up my sleeve I can show you, but I can guarantee you look at me and see that I'm the type of girl you're not really that used to. I'm only gonna